Hi, I'm Deb Crowe, and I want to welcome you to Season 3 of Imperfect, the Heart-Centered Leadership Podcast. This is a podcast where we connect, learn, and laugh together with authentic and courageous leaders from all over the globe. You will learn from leaders you haven't even met yet. You will gain new tools to add to your leadership toolkit. Leadership belongs to all of us. It's not measured by stature or title. So please pull up a chair and listen in. This is the Heart-Centered Leadership Podcast. Well, here we are at the end of October 2022. And I'm super excited to be back and doing the October solo episode. This month has had lots of exciting times, lots of goals achieved, lots of barriers, and I've been struggling with this cold. We've had crazy weather in Canada. It's been summer, then fall, then summer, then fall. And it's just a crazy, crazy time. So what I want to talk to you about on this solo episode is a Bill of Rights. I've been thinking for all of 2022 about a Bill of Rights and what it means and, how it's evolved in government within different countries and how it embodies a formal declaration. And I was thinking back in January, I'm going to start taking a pen to paper and just mind dumping some ideas of what I think a Bill of Rights would look like for heart-centered leadership. And been working on it for 10 months, finally got it to where I wanted it to be. And we're going to put a link in the episode description for you to be able to download this and share it. I'm all about honoring my connection with you, my listeners. It's like our heart-centered leadership poster that is now in 21 languages. It has been downloaded over 130 times. There's no opt-in. I just want to share this information with you. And my wish and desire is that you will read it, reread it, think about it, ponder, implement it, and then share it. Because when we share information with others, I think that is the greatest act of heart-centered leadership. So pull up a chair, grab your favorite beverage, and I'm going to go through the Heart-Centered Leadership Bill of Rights with you right now. You have the right to never feel bad about saying no or yes to other people. You have the right to deviate from one's intended path or to alter one's mind. You have the right to obtain your desired outcomes through discussion and compromise. You have the right to say all that you are feeling. You have the right to share your thoughts, even if they're not shared by others. You have the right to be treated with kindness, thoughtfulness, and respect. You have the right to choose the people who are allowed to share your life. You have the right to share your limits and non-negotiables. You have the right to put yourself first without guilt. And the last one is you have the right to be yourself. Let your true self shine through and enjoy your life. I truly consider myself to be a deep thinker. I bask in the time that I can have for thought leadership. And I felt it was time to share this Bill of Rights. Like I said, I've been working on this document for most of 2022. And it came to fruition by the recollection of conversations and thinking when I'm by myself and really basking in my writing and developing of my content and really overall thought leadership. It's been conversations that I've had with old colleagues, current colleagues, new colleagues, and my coaching clients that continue to amaze me from around the globe. I felt that this creation came when I allowed myself to be in a place of pure observation. So I'm hoping that you will download this Bill of Rights and add it as another tool in your heart-centered leadership toolbox. I think it's something that you will read and reread and ponder, and I encourage you to use it wisely and always come from a foundation of honoring yourself as the leader that you are. And if you're listening right now and saying, well, Deb, I'm not really a leader, we're all leaders in our own right. Because you don't have the title or stature doesn't mean that you're not a leader. There's many listeners that come to this podcast every week, and I know that they're accidental leaders. Someone else has seen something that they have exhibited in behavior or a written submission or an observation of a conversation with a colleague. Again, I know it's difficult, but we have to learn to get over ourselves and embrace proper boundaries. And when we can get over ourselves and stop trying to be what everyone else in society thinks we should be and just lean in and be ourselves, that to me is honoring with your heart and mind and soul and living the heart-centered leadership Bill of Rights. Heart-centered leadership isn't just in business, it's in our life. It's in our whole being. So there's no conversation or confusion where life shows up at work and work shows up in our life. It's something that I think gets very confused for people. I think people put a lot of barriers up to say, well, I don't do that, or that's not for me. We all have trials and tribulations. We all have stress. We all have loss. We all have trauma, and we all have grief in our lives. The key to surviving and navigating through all of these different phases or episodes in our life is controlling how you react to a situation, whether it's a trauma, a loss, a negative coworker, a systematic boss. When you can understand that today is the present, it is non-refundable. It is up to us to make it unforgettable. Not every day is going to be rainbows and unicorns, but if we continue to have a positive mindset, be eternally optimistic, keep that tunnel at the end, keep that light rather. Don't you love my imperfection? Keep that light at the end of the tunnel, even if it's a dim, dim flame. And then hold on to your Bill of Rights, hold on to who you are, and know that that is going to be your secret weapon. That's going to be your continuity for success. And we all have our own life story. You know, many, many months ago at the beginning of this year, I remember I took a blank piece of paper and I wrote down my life story from birth to now. And just to give you a little example, I wrote down everything that I was to see how I became the heart-centered leader I am. So we're born, our first exposure to leadership is our parents. Then we go to kindergarten. We get more leadership lessons through observation as a child from our teacher. First job was a babysitter, and so on and so on. You're getting the idea here. I'm encouraging you to write down your life story, because when you can look back and see where you've come from and what you've done, all the other things that are in between each line on that page is what you've overcome, or the barrier you got through, or the barrier you knocked down. It's your resilience. And it's a really super fun exercise that I encourage all of you to do. So here is to the end of October. Happy Halloween for those of you that celebrate that. I know among the 65 countries listening to us, It's a thing that we do here in Canada. I don't want to call it a holiday because it's not. It's a celebration for young children and even some adults where we dress up in a costume and the children go around door to door and people give them treats for their little Halloween bag that they're carrying. It was a fond memory that I had as a child and then again as a mother with my own children. And it's just super fun. So here's to ending the October 2022 chapter. And I look forward to an amazing, eventful, progressive, productive November. And I'll see you back here at the end of November. And I ask all of you to think about what's going on in your life. Think about this Bill of Rights. How can you put it into your life? How can you use it every day as a tool in your toolkit? And a gentle reminder of the heart-centered way. Follow your heart, have passion, do your best, know your truth, and always be in love with the journey. Thank you so much for listening to my solo podcast for October. Keep being heart-centered and imperfect, and I'll see you in November. Take care. Thanks for joining me today on Imperfect, the Heart-Centered Leadership Podcast. I hope that you've enjoyed the show today and learned some new tools for your leadership from our amazing heart-centered guest. And if you like the show, we would welcome a rating and review on whatever platform you listen to. And we would love to have any comments or feedback at any time. And if you want some more heart-centered goodness, head over to our daily blog, masteringtheheart.com.